สาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุภริตวานาเมตตังสเมตตาภทันตาอวิคิจจิตตาปริตังพนันตุสักเทกาเมจารูเปหิริสิคาราตาเตจันตาริเควิมาเนทีเป
นะอุดโมอัดพุทธตากึ่งนะปิดกึ่งทายพุทธอัดโมอุดนะอุดตะ
Asia. Over 4 billion people live across this vast continent. Its diverse cultures have pioneered many practices that have been integral to societies for centuries. Asia creates an intense tapestry of religious and spiritual traditions, and against this backdrop is the art of tattooing. But while many countries around the world have their own tattoo culture, Thailand's art form is steeped in ritual and mystery. I'm Dusita Saokaew, and this is Assignment Asia. On this week's program, I look into Thailand's sacred tattoo tradition and see how millions of Thais and increasingly foreigners view these beliefs as something more than just skin deep. In the cramped ground floor of a Bangkok townhome, filled with golden statues of deities and hazes of incense smoke, under a bank of fluorescent lights, a master is at work. It's a typical day, but one can't deny the feeling of something happening here, something powerful, something spiritual, something magic. With skillful precision, Ajahn repeatedly plunges a long steel needle with a razor-sharp tip dipped in black ink into the back of a devotee, with each tap producing a perfectly placed pixel that forms the traditional Thai tattoo called Sak Yant. He weaves magic into the skin of those he paints. Though this tattoo is one of many that he will complete today, he makes certain the experience is one this young man will not only remember, but perhaps hold the key to changing his future. It's a 20-minute agonizing ordeal that pushes the boundaries of one's pain threshold, a pain that is often described as bee stings, thousands of them, one at a time. Most do not choose from the thousands of intricate Sak Yant designs that will forever brand their bodies. It's a choice all up to the master.
ตอนนี้คนทำงานเยอะสักไปส่วนมากจะเอาพวกเมตตาโภคทรัพย์คงกระพันนี่เขาไว้ที่หลังแล้วเขาบอกเสน่ห์นี่เยอะเหมือนกันก็บางคนอยากจะมีเมตตาสักไปแล้วให้คนผู้ใหญ่เห็นเจ้านายเห็นแล้วอุปถัมภ์ค้ำชูเขาอย่างเงี้ยแล้วก็การเงินของเขาให้มันดีขึ้น
Devotee Boy takes his place in front of Ajahn, optimistic that his path through life will become smoother.
คาดหวังว่าการเงินการงานและความชีวิตที่เปลี่ยนแปลงไปทุกอย่างนะครับได้ดีขึ้นมากกว่าเดิม
Two men hold him down and stretches out the skin so that the tattoo can be perfectly inscribed. Wiping the needle clean, Ajahn hands a wet towel to soak up the blood, turns Boy around, places his hands firmly on his shoulders and begins chanting a kata or spell. These ancient incantations form an essential part of the process and are seen to be calling on the spirit gods to infuse the Sak Yant with their power. His breathing becomes faster, and his body suddenly shakes with tremors. His eyes clench shut. His hands press firmly together in a prayer position. Boy is somewhere else, in a place unknown. Boy begins to scream and groan, a sign that the spirit is entering his skin. After several minutes, Ajahn Dam blows a short, sharp breath onto Boy's neck, sealing the power inside the body. And just like that, Boy is back from the place unknown, sitting inside this mundane Bangkok townhome to which he first arrived.
เหมือนเป็นภาวะกึ่งตัวกึ่งไม่รู้ตัวนะครับผมแล้วก็คือเวลาของขึ้นมามันก็อยู่กับในป่าในเขาอะไรแบบนี้ครับผมแต่ก็ได้ยินเสียงทุกอย่างแต่เหมือนว่าเราจิตของเราจะควบคุมไม่อยู่แล้วมันไม่ใช่ตัวของเราตัวเองอะไรครับ
พยักโคจรพยักโค
It's a ritual quite difficult to fathom. Many people in Thailand and around the world believe that Sak Yants offer protection against danger and death and bring luck, power and courage. There are plenty of stories out there that tell of the magic that these tattoos possess. Walter, an Austrian traveler, makes this his first stop every year when he visits Thailand. 5 years ago, his life turned upside down when doctors in Austria diagnosed him with prostate cancer. Keen to explore alternative healing methods, Walter came here, full of hope with nothing to lose. After his first Sak Yant experience, Walter claims his prostate cancer mysteriously disappeared.
As he did the Sak Yant, it was like you could feel something goes in your body, something, every poke, every single poke gives you like a strange, unidentified feeling, you know. So after that, after the Sak Yant, after the praying, after the blessing, you feel very, very calm, very relaxed, very strong. I did my Sak Yant and came back to Austria, did my blood checks, and everything was normal. And from this day on, I really believed in it, and I'm sure there is something special, something mystical in it.
Mystical or not, getting the spirits to deliver a lifetime of riches and heal the body of ailing health complications is not as simple as an afternoon in Ajahn Dam's little town home. For all those who receive Sak Yants, a series of vows must be taken.
And the moral code protects the tattoos. The tattoos do not have power. The power leaks out of your body because the power is it's a metaphysical substance that's planted inside your body by the master, and it's held in place by the moral code. If you're not acting morally, the power leaks out of your body.
Though each master has their own version, most are built on the essential Buddhist principles such as don't cheat on your partner, respect your mother and father, and don't take illegal drugs. These tattoos serves as a reminder to the wearer to live the life of a dutiful Buddhist, committed to doing good, to generate positive karma, and ultimately to get a better deal in the next life.
ถ้าคุณทำผิดกฎมันทั้งหมดเลยนะอยู่ดีๆสักไปผิดหมดเลยไม่ยอมปฏิบัติตามใช่ครับลายสักยันต์มันก็เป็นแค่ลายธรรมดาเขาเรียกว่าเสียหนังเปล่าๆคิดว่าปฏิบัติไม่ได้อย่าสักคือกฎข้อห้ามให้อ่านก่อนที่จะสักนะครับไม่ใช่สักไปแล้วค่อยว่าให้ไปอ่านให้ดูก่อนเลยครับว่าคุณปฏิบัติได้ไหมเขาบอกปฏิบัติได้แล้วก็มาสักครับ
And that is perhaps what this powerful experience is all about. Sak Yants are more than just an inkling. The ink explains a code that is both sacred and spiritual, the power to potentially transform, even just momentarily, the mindset of the bearer, and give, above all else, the hope for a better future. A typical Sak Yant design usually takes around 20 minutes to complete. But for the most loyal devotees, years can be spent developing their canvas into an elaborate second magical skin. And as we will soon see, once tattooed, these devotees live in a world of magic and the supernatural. Thailand is a nation that for many centuries has been justly famous for its remarkable history and traditions. Its culture, so rich and elaborate, is deeply influenced by religion, mythology, and traditional beliefs. For centuries, some cultures all around the world, ranging from ancient warriors to outlaws, have organized themselves around the symbols etched into their skin. Steeped in superstition, the practice of Sak Yant dates back thousands of years. While the tattoos might look stylish, receiving a Sak Yant tattoo was done for reasons other than those of vanity. Sacred hymns, verses, and mantras were married with geometrical patterns and animist imagery to pay homage to the spirits and summon up their mystical power.
Historically, Sakyan weren't Buddhist, they were animist. It was pre-Buddhist. It was Thai cultures, Thai tribes from northwestern Vietnam, southwestern China, and later moving into what we know as today as Laos and Thailand, etc. That was before Buddhism had come to this part of Asia. So now what happened was once Buddhism came in, then the moral code was added for one. Second thing is imagery from Buddhism, some of the iconography from Buddhism.
Sak Yants are strictly not part of the original Buddhist traditions, but it is a practice that has become ingrained in Thai culture as a way to provide protection and acquire good luck through the mystical side of traditional philosophies and Buddhist influence. There's evidence of their use in the Khmer Empire dating back to the 9th century, giving them a long and proud history. With their supposed magical powers, warriors headed into battle frequently had them, as they were said to protect them from harm. With some believing that these tattoos would even prevent arrows or blades from piercing their skin. True or not, the Khmer Empire with its Sak Yant-bearing warriors went on to rule over Southeast Asia for more than 600 years.
สาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุสาธุ
Ajahn Bip is another tattoo master who believes in the protective power of Sak Yants. In 2017, he was invited abroad to perform Sak Yants for foreigners who are becoming increasingly fascinated with the powers that a tattoo may bring. But as he infused power into the Sak Yants of his clients, he would soon realize that he was the one who needed the tattoo's powers of protection.
มีอยู่ประเทศหนึ่งผมไปประมาณเกือบ1 เดือนก็อยู่ตามปกติอะไรแต่วันกลับมีเหตุซึ่งไม่คาดคิดมีการทำร้ายร่างกายกัน 4-5 คนทำร้ายผมมีการฉีดสเปรย์พริกไทยอาจจะมีการแทงของเอาความเป็นคมแทงบางอย่างที่ผมไม่สามารถที่จะเห็นได้เพราะว่าตอนโดนฉีดสเปรย์พริกไทยมันสเปรย์มันฉีดมันแสบตาก็เลยวิ่งแบบว่าเหมือนแบบว่าวิ่งแบบไม่ใช่ชีวิตวิ่งก่อนเกือบเอาชีวิตไม่รอดเหมือนกัน
If one is doubtful of the supernatural phenomenon of Sak Yants, then nowhere can the belief in these tattoos be witnessed better than at this temple. Around 60 kilometers from Bangkok is Wat Bang Phra. This is the mecca of Sak Yant tattoos where monks and apprentices prick countless Sak Yants every day. This temple is perhaps the main reason that Sak Yants have become such an internationally known phenomenon. It is widely believed that these tattoos possess magical powers, and arguably the best time to see this magic on full display is at the Wai Kru festival, where each year tens of thousands of devotees from all around the world converge to perform a spiritual ritual to honor their masters and to re-empower the tattoos that have been etched onto their skin. Sometimes a monkey, sometimes an eel, but more often than not, a tiger. Many seemingly fall into a trance as the animal spirits of the Sak Yant tattoos that cover their bodies takes over.
ถ้าผมเรียกแรงครูครับแรงครูก็คือสิ่งนี้มันมองไม่เห็นนะคือมันเป็นความศรัทธาของคนถ้าคนไม่ได้ศรัทธาครับให้คุณนั่งภาวนายังไงก็ไม่ขึ้นครับเพราะคุณไม่คิดว่ามันจะขึ้นไงแต่ถ้าคนที่เขาศรัทธาเขาจิตเขานิ่งทีเดียวเขาก็ขึ้นของเขาเองนะผมก็ไม่เข้าใจอันนี้มันเป็นเรื่องที่อธิบายยากไงมันอยู่ที่จิตของแต่ละคน
It's this mass spiritual rapture that shakes an onlooker's skepticism to its core. Devotees simultaneously enter a trance, which they are in most cases aware of, but are powerless to resist. They can only watch on as silent observers as their bodies perform a variety of ancient reenactments of events, displayed through a kind of outer-worldly dance ritual.
I think what is happening is just like an affirmation between master and disciple. They have a common goal. If the goal is ultimately for the disciple, but they have a common goal, and they're both working very hard to get there psychologically and through all the symbols and ritual and everything, so that it finally happens. So I think it's an affirmation between the master and disciple that is very, very strong, and very similar to hypnosis.
They crawl, slither, and charge, ultimately to be awakened from the possessed state by a simple rub or blowing of their ears, causing the spirits to leave their bodies. Possession could be caused by various factors, whether it is faith, rising karma, or possession by spirits. The exhausted devotees return to their senses as the tigers, monkeys, snakes, and eagles are now back in their cage, for another year at least. The crowds leave, no doubt feeling that little bit more powerful, if not immortal. Fashion or social phenomenon, the demand of Sak Yants keeps rising. Hollywood stars, wealthy businessmen, people from all walks of life flock to Thai Sak Yant masters to have these powerful designs inked onto their skin. But as its popularity grows, will this ancient tradition be able to retain its sacredness? Traditionally, Sak Yants have largely been the domain of the working class. Thailand's rural population finds little space to express itself in mainstream culture. Soldiers, policemen, and gangsters are also known to be partial to the sacred tattoos, as some promise protection from knives, bullets, and other forms of aggression. Consequently, Thailand's middle class has long turned its nose at this tradition. But this has been changing in the past decade. When actress Angelina Jolie showed off her Sak Yant tattoo 15 years ago, 5 lines of Buddhist blessings running down her left shoulder blade, she raised the country's international status for spiritual tattoos. Ha Tao, as it is called, represent 5 magical spells, with each line representing a different area of one's life. But these 5 lines catapulted Sak Yant to cult status, both locally and internationally.
They've had a huge influence on not just Westerners coming to seek tattoos, but even more so Thai. Thai celebrities started getting tattoos, Sak Yant, where before they would look down on this. That was just for like taxi drivers and mafia and stuff like that, policemen. But now it's very popular and trendy now for Thais, just like it has been for Westerners. So the commercialization has really taken off since then.
A new industry has cropped up in Thailand offering Sak Yant knockoffs to tourists. Many tourists feel that a great souvenir from Thailand would be a tattoo. In fact, according to the Global Tattoo Index, Bangkok ranks as the world's 12th most popular city for tattoos purchased by tourists. Since Thailand remains one of the world's top tourist destinations, the country's ancient customs and rituals have developed a trendy life of their own. Tourists who forgo the trek to Wat Bang Phra may find themselves here on Khao San Road, inked with religious symbols. A deeply spiritual affair moves over as tourists flick through catalogues, choose a cultural image they like, oblivious to its meaning, angering traditionalists with its uncomfortable blend of East and West. Many foreigners visiting Thailand are enamored by Buddhism as a fad and an exotic culture. But here's the problem. The appropriation of Buddhism by tourists has increased the commercialization of businesses in the tourism industry that see an opportunity for major profits. This, according to organizations like Knowing Buddha, dilutes the meaning of Buddhism as a religion and changes the way it is perceived worldwide.
What we can do is to spread the correct understanding, to spread the right knowledge, so both the shoppers and also the tourists who come to Thailand know how to treat Buddha and the Buddhism symbol correctly, with a sense of respect, of course. So I believe we have been in great tolerance and we've been silenced for long enough. We should speak out, not with aggression, but with compassion. And we could speak out about how to treat Buddha symbol correctly with respect, with your heart, with your humble mind, like treating other religions' prophets.
Their tactics are not exactly what you would call subtle. Upon arrival into Bangkok, their billboard serves as an introductory message to the city denouncing Buddha decor and tattoos. Yet as soon as you step out into Bangkok, opportunities to buy relics of the Buddha image or to get a Sak Yant tattoo from a monk are readily available. The contrast between traditional Buddhism and tourist culture can hardly be more striking. Still, this organization is dedicated to the preservation of Buddhism, calling for a boycott against the commercialization of Buddha images and symbols.
Including many of our neighboring countries like Sri Lanka or Myanmar, in which deny a visa or reject or deport tourists who has Buddhism symbol or facial Buddha out of their countries. And unfortunately in Thailand we don't have a law to enforce that, but we have the law saying one should not disrespect any religion at all.
He is referring to Section 206 of Thai law, insulting or defaming a religion, which could be punishable by up to 7 years in jail and/or a fine of $450. Although past governments have tried to make this legally binding, it remains difficult to do so as the Land of Smiles welcomes almost 38 million tourists every year. Back at Ajahndam's townhome, the Sak Yant tradition continues as it has for generations. Yet we are left with many questions. Will the Sak Yant tradition last? Will they retain their sacredness? Or are they doomed to surrender to commercialization and tourism and lose their meaning entirely?
Well, because it's lasted 2,000 years so far, I think it'll always be a real need within not just Thai society, but the world at large for this kind of, let's just call it what it is, a cult. You know, it's an occult phenomena. And people, there's always a need for the occult throughout history. It never goes away. Science and technology hardly phases it at all. People always need something more than just normal civil life.
Whether it's in love, business, or for overall protection, there's an overwhelming feeling and emotion in this room that most are seeking what we all are: peace, solace, success, happiness, a life without sorrow and pain, a life without struggle. In the end, these tattoos serve as a reminder to its bearer to think of doing good. And watching people stream into Ajahndam's townhome, it is clear what people are wanting more than anything, and that is to make this life better. Undeniably, the evidence is inconclusive. The riddle is left unsolved. But this is Thailand, and ancient traditions like this have become the soul of this unique country. People will question if everything they have seen is real. They will question if spirits actually live so closely alongside the living. And that is essentially what this is about, part of our never-ending quest to solve the mystery as we observe its power for those who believe.
อัตตวอัตตาอัตตามายะตะเกสาพุทธะเยือดเป่งของเป่งสุโยหนึ่งอาคาราจันตังนิมิตสิ่งนั้นบุญมานาเงินทองไหลมาผู้คนมานัก
That's all we have time for this week. I'm Dusita Saokaew, and join us again on Assignment Asia. Share your thoughts and contribute story ideas for future shows by contacting us through social media.